hello everyone. Hi. Hello. Can you hear me? Hello, hello. Hello, hello everyone. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we're hearing you.
What do you see on the screen?
We are hearing you.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
What do you see?
We are seeing the screen.
What do you see on the screen?
Solution Challenge 2023.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like I've seen our guest here. Let me first ask and I confirm to see. Mr. Solomon. Hello.
I can hear you, sir.
I was just requesting whether should I go first or you have another appointment somewhere, then you go first. Because what I'm going to share, I shared it some time back. I'm just going like to highlight more about it and letting people know about the solution challenge more. So the main idea of this event today was more of ideation. So I don't know whether I can go first or if I first go through faster.
No, you start. You start. Then I can come in.
Oh, thank you. Uh, I think this is the time we agreed. It is 2:30, and we are not wasting any more time. For the members who are around, others they will find us along the way. Before I start, my name is Abaho Regan Kashoma. For those who may be new or may have joined in right now, the GDC Limon University. We are organizing the Solution Challenge Solution Challenge competitions, which is taking place right now in 2023 across the world. So many universities across the world are participating in this Solution Challenge, and as we are going to be sharing, you are going to see what do you need and how, when, and what is the timeline. So basically what I'm going to talk about is how do you get involved, how do you group yourself, the judging criteria, and the timeline. So for those who were not there last time when we shared this, I'll be sharing these videos in our WhatsApp group and so on, but these are the different solution challenges that people want and take part. So solution challenge started on January and it has been going on up to March. So I agree and I want to confirm that we are a bit late with the organization, but they always say but they always say it's never too late. So your active participation within these remaining days, it will judge who will be in the next 2 months from now. This is the timeline from January up to 8th March. That's when it was launched. As you can see in March, 1st March, that is open. We shall open submissions. Currently we have been having some kind of meetups which is physical. For those who have not yet joined, please join us. We are always in the big app. Please kindly join us. Even today's evening we are meeting up. Please join us. So submissions are going to start on 17th. Then and it will end on 31st March. Then by May, 100 top global winners will be announced. Then in June finals, the top 10 they will be selected. Then in August, the top 3 they will be chosen. What will happen next after those top 3 or top 10 or top 100 will be chosen? What you must be knowing, everyone who participates will get a certificate of participation, no matter what kind of idea you submit, because every idea is real and it's working. So right now, you may not be having the best idea, but it can be turned into the best with mentors and so on. So right now, you may design something like an interface and so on, like a workable solution. So you never know what will happen. So here is the top 100 teams. They will receive experts from Google. They will also receive swags and a certificate that is automatic. Top 100, top 10 finalists, they will receive additional mentorship, swag box, and opportunity to showcase their solutions at the World Demo live on YouTube. Then final contests. Each qualifying team will not exceed 4,000 USD dollars. So I hope you guys will see where we are heading to and what we are going to do. So top 3, they will receive 12,000 USD dollars, and they will win mentorship, because they will, again, that 12 USD dollars is just like a grant for you to start up your business and implement. So what's the judging criteria? Most of this I may be faster due to the fact that there is another event that is going to take place up at the 9:30. So hello, someone can mute. Someone can mute. Thank you. So this is the judging criteria. Everyone who participates will be given points according to how he has presented his idea and how the problem is solved and what technologies is being used. To summarize all, they will give points according to the validity of the problem. Is it in line with the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, that is the SDGs? Then also, is the idea real? So they will judge us according to this. I hope you can see my screen. I may not be able to read everything here, but this is what it takes. Then the submission also has some kind of points, because some members tend to delay in submission, others tend to go fast, so depending on how. So in your solution, you must be able to describe clearly the solution you are solving, and that is the problem statement. And implementation, you have to describe the architecture of your team. Choose, like, if you are choosing a team, you must not all of you be like developers, or you may need someone who is in that field where you are choosing the problem to be solved. So you must have a diverse team. Feedback and testing or iteration. Each and every time they will provide three specific feedback points to you as received from the real users. So you must go on ground and you test whether is the problem you are trying to solve, is it real? So you have to first ask the users whether it's the problem, whether they real facing the problem, and so on. Then you have to start now coding. You highlight on different technologies you are going to use in details, and you address them. So I've gone through this and everything. So to summarize everything about like the timeline, am I still audible? Hello? Hello? Hello, hello, hello.
You are audible.
I hear you.
Okay, thank you so much. To summarize everything between when we are starting and when we are ending. So, first and foremost, who is qualified to take part in this solution challenge? You must be a GDSC member, and this is what we are going to do. Right now, we are on step 2, but you see it was supposed to be done in January, hosting an info session and hackathons and so on between that June. So now, right now, we already have like 2 teams which have registered. We still need more teams to register. So that's why I have decided to repeat this event so that we can have more teams on ground. So how do you form a team? We need like a team of 4 members who are diverse in the knowledge about the solution. You select among yourselves 4, you identify a solution, then learn, then we shall start and build. So first and foremost, you need to design the front-end interface and design the back end using any of the Google technology. So most of you, I know most of the guys here at Muni, you know Python, JavaScript, Java, and so on and so on. And some of you have gone ahead to learn about Android and ML. So I believe this is the time for us to implement what we have been learning, all these sessions that we have organized in the past, and what you have been doing on your individual work, in groups, and so on, to come in hand and join us and be part of the team. So, what next is testing your solution. So, in GDC, I think we shall do this. We shall host another event, seeing how things are running, and we shall call like one of the lecturers to guide us somewhere in case we are trying to test the solution before submission. So, along this process, we shall have to record a demo, and this demo has to be submitted by 31st March. So meaning that from 17th March up to 31st, that is the timeline for us to submit those solutions that we have come up. So here as GDC Muni, I don't want us I'm just requesting us to not exceed 25th for us to remain the time. So as we work on our solutions and so on, we need not exceed 25th. I know most of you had amazing projects in your final year, some of the guys here, and some of you have designed your personal projects here, and you never know, those projects can be implemented and it can turn out into something. Maybe you have an idea, it is not fully formed, but when you get a chance and appear among the top 100, that idea can be turned into something great that will change this nation and the world at large. So don't hesitate, don't fear, in fact, participate with one heart, with willingness that you are going to win. So in this solution, you have to participate with all what you need is provided. I've already talked about the submission and so on, the top 3, the top finalists, the top 10 finalists, top 100, and so on. So I will not waste much time here. So I wanted to play this one of the videos here, but it's like internet is not my friend here. Hello. Hello. power is off, eh?
But
Yes, doing that.
Hello, hello.
Regan, what's happening?
I think internet went off here, so I had to first connect my data here. I've just realized someone had to first call me a bit. So I was speaking. I don't know where did I stop and where. Hello.
Yeah, on the roadmap, how like from January, how we are supposed to start getting the ideas for the groups. That is where you are.
Thank you so much. Oh, I think I had spoke. I stopped here, right? I think I had finished this point. What I said is, I don't know where I stopped, but anyway, you'll forgive me. It was internet. So, to be specific, I said submissions here and judging to take between March and August. So in between, maybe in June, around there, you would start be seeing some results about your submissions and everything you need, everything that you have submitted, whether you have appeared among the top 200, top 10, top 50, and so on. So we are lucky that last year we happened to participate in the social challenge with two groups, two teams, and most of all of us we happened to just get certificate of participation. But this time around, I pray and I believe you guys, you've been doing some good work in the background, and this is the time for us to implement and do something great. Internet is disturbing. I will share these videos into our WhatsApp groups and so on. You will see what those of what the last winners in the solution challenge, the top 10, the top 3, and those who finally took up the trophies. I will share everything into the WhatsApp groups and so on for those of you. So, what are the technologies you need to be, other technologies that you need to involve? So, besides you learning your Java, implementing your Java, your Kotlin, and so on, Python. So, these are some of the other technologies you need to embed into your system. So, basically, I'm going to share with you the links, different links on how to join. So without forgetting, I want you to, for those who have not registered, please kindly register. This is the form. Let me share with you the link. Just click on it and you register. Otherwise, that's what I wanted to share with you. Feel free to join Mr. Solomon.
Okay, thank you, Regan. I really don't know what has happened that we have. I can say we have only. I mean, if we can only be 6 in a call, that's literally looking at without you the lead, we are looking at what? 4 people in a call. I don't know how that is going to be. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I think I don't know how many people you hope to have in the solutions challenge. Do we have the people who are here? Now we have, I would say 2, without Regan. 2 remaining in the call without Regan. But basically, what would happen? What would happen is that, I mean, I don't know what quorum looks like in terms of this session. What would quorum look like for you, Regan? How many members are in the club? Then we can. Maybe there's an event which has been happening. Maybe there is. I don't know. I don't know why people are really, really few. If you were to ask me, I would say maybe a reschedule would be a very good one. But if you think, even if you reschedule, there is nothing that can happen, we can go ahead and basically take 2 people through this. What do you think, Regan?
I think because, as you know, you plan and things do happen. So there was another event that had took place at campus right now. I think they just advertised in the morning. There is a launch of the book, and we were not aware of it. So we had scheduled, and so we just said, let's continue. Those who are interested here, they will join in. So it was like that. Some members were like, we are posting in our WhatsApp group that they will join in later, along that. So I think we can continue. Because I'm going to record the session. I will share with them the video. Hello.
Okay, and you said in the next 30 minutes there's going to be another session.
Yeah, at the.
Is that correct?
Yeah, at 3 something.
There's going to be another event at
3:30. So.
Regan.
Yes, sir. That's the event. That's the session I'm trying to mean. Hello.
Regan, I don't know if you're
hello.
talking, but I can't hear you.
I was
Yes.
saying that's the session I was trying to mean. That is going to take place at 3:30, around that time. So.
Which session?
There is a launch of the book. There is one lecturer. I think one of the professors here is launching a book, and so he called up all the members to join up in the conference. Hello.
Okay. All right. Let's proceed within the. I don't know what can be done in 30 minutes, but let's see what we can do. I'm simply going to take us through a few things that we need to take note of while we go through. This should have been something like a practical session that people go through and come up with solutions. And I can tell you that the first time, I mean, when GDSC, by then DSC just started, we had a session like this, and that was when Mono University emerged the winners of the DSC solutions challenge. So I believe that we can again have the same process. We can go through the same process and have, great results. I'm going to be sharing my screen and basically take us through this process that we can take note of. If we take note of these and we follow them correctly, I believe it will be something great. For the other universities that I've had a session with, it would go to close to, the session would go to close to 2 hours. It would go to close to 2 hours. So maybe I would imagine that 1 hour would have been the best to have this session, but we can see how we can do this very fast so that we call it a day. Please ask questions where you do not, if you do not have, if you have not understood anything, please ask questions. Regan, I also asked that you register the people who attend so that we can have that follow up. Have at least their phone numbers and email addresses, so that now the intention earlier on was to have all these universities and whoever is participating in the DSC Solutions Challenge, having something like this. Then later on, we'll do joint hackathons together, and also after that, we would then have that one big showcase of what we have done, even after the submissions of the Solutions Challenge. So I believe there is still room for that. There may be someone here who has a team out there and they have not had their team members join. And this time, if we can have more than the 2 teams that we are talking about, more than 2 teams join make submissions to the Solutions Challenge, it would be a great one. Regan has explained a number of things. So the benefits of what we are talking about is already taken care of from the presentation that Regan made. So I want us to go straight to the point. I'm going to present, and we should be able to follow. Okay. I believe we can all see my screen. If yes, let someone just unmute and say yes.
Yes, we can see.
All right. So first of all, as a matter of introduction, I am Solomon Opio. and a tech community lead. I lead the Binary Garage and also the Google Cloud developer community for Kampala. I think that formed the basis of why one time the DSC lead then, that was Samuel. Samuel asked me to come to Muni University to do a session on cloud, basically an introduction to cloud technologies. And I told him that will not make sense. Leaving Kampala to come to Muni University to run an introduction to cloud technologies wouldn't be of great impact to the students. The logo you see up there is for the Binary Garage. That is my Twitter handle. Those of us who love Twitter, one of the things I've always told people is that, you know, it's important to, it's good to always share the things that you learn, whatever you have, a session that you have attended, share them online and all that. Those are sources of opportunities that you can have. If I had to probably show my face, I'm not in a very good place with good lighting. I did not turn on the lights, but that is the person speaking. Just so, I mean, you may see something in the picture. Pictures at times lie, but what you see there is myself. The other thing I also love telling people is that much as we have, you know, people say when you get into technology, things related to, you know, a marriage becomes a problem and all that. But I can also show you that I'm married with one kid and only one wife. And I have a child who is 1 year and I think about to make 6 months. About to make 6 months. So that's an introduction. And that's about myself. I can also mention that I had, I finished a course in software engineering about, that was 2013, about 10 years ago, when I completed software engineering and joined get into technology. People coming up with solutions, trying to come up with startups, but at the end of the day, the things that they build do not see the light of the day. And that was one of the things I told Samuel then. I was like, the best we can come and do is come and run an ideation session. We go through an ideation session, we run through the pitching so that we are able to present during the, for the solutions challenge. We can easily have, you know, a very impactful day that can actually support the teams that are going to be built, not only in that one day, but also in the previous, in the following sessions that they have. And that's how we came and did that session, and we had Muni University emerging the best globally. And I believe we can do that. We can have that again. So, from what I just mentioned, we need to understand that there's a process. There's a process of innovation. It's not the ideas that we come up with that eventually make it, you know. you think of, I can give you an example what we did at the university before I joined Outbox. Going through, we came up with a solid waste management system. We built it, and at the end of the day, those solutions still do not see the light of the day. I went to Mbarara University about three consecutive years as a judge for their ICS awards. And every year I went there was a solid waste management system, similar to what I built at the university. But up to now, you cannot see them getting anywhere. Now, that is because while building those, we did not take into consideration the fact that we need to actually have, go through the process, get through the process of innovation, and also work together with the people that we are building for in order to come up with that, solution. After all this, we have seen very many people come out and they're doing great. The first thing that we need to understand for us as what we need to understand as people who are building solutions is, one, for you to work in for you to work in a team, you need to have people that you work with, with the different roles that they follow. People participate with different roles. You may have, two developers. You can have a designer. You can have someone who is a project manager. You can even have someone to do marketing. Now, if you have those, at least you have a solid team. One, like it's mentioned, nobody accomplishes success by themselves. So while someone is coding, there is that person who is pushing people. The project manager wants to see things done. Can we have, ABCD done in order to achieve the desired goals? So typically, you'd find in a team, there is someone who is focusing on the product. There is someone who is focusing on the customers, the users, and there is someone who is focusing on design. You may add some other role, but if we have a minimum of 3, then we can say we have a working team and a winning team per se. So these are very key roles. We are calling the person who is working on the product. We are calling them a hacker, and that's most. When you look on the left, the hacker, the hustler, the artist, those are names that you can give to. They are basically names that are just mapped onto what we see there. But you can call that a developer. You can call this other person maybe someone who is either a marketeer or someone who is in more into, has knowledge of product development and all that. An artist looks into the design of what you are building. That is the first thing to consider. Very key for us to look at, having a successful team while we build. So when we get to now, there are people who really love to work in isolation. We call them silos. They do not want to think of, we need to win together. We need to win together, and that's the only way we can become winners. Win together. So if you think you've come up with an idea and people are going to steal your idea, maybe, you don't want to become shareholders, you want to enjoy 100% shareholding, then you do not have any success coming your way. I do not want to, because we have little time, I do not want to go. We already know who the techie is. and that's the person we're calling the hustler. I will not get into the details of what they can do, but let's call this one the developer. Like I mentioned, the designer is going to focus more on getting, new ideas, understand how the design affects user experience, all that kind of stuff. You need to look at the roles that you need in order to have a, to come up with a solution that wins. The business person is more of looking at the business. How are you going to make money? So when you build a solution, we are not only focusing on the design of the product. At the end of the day, you have a working solution. You need to make money out of what you build. And these are things which are going to be considered when you get to, when it gets to the judging of this. I mean, you've been told that you've been given the judging criteria, but again, one thing that we need to know is that some of these things may not be mentioned, but at the end of the day, people are asking themselves, but if these guys win, are they able to make money? Are they able to create the desired impact? Are we together? I hope I'm not speaking to myself. I need to go back to my.
We can
I need to
hear.
go back to my. All right. So I may be speaking, and it's happening like the first scenario where everyone disappeared on the call, and I think I'm. So if you have all these people, then you're ready to go. So you've gotten the different roles. I know for this challenge, we have been asked to have at least, no, not at least. That's we need to know is that for you now to get to find the fourth person, let that person be the one who has. There's that other missing gap. There's that other missing gap. Do you need 2 developers? Do you need, do you need 3? But for me, the key ones, we need definitely a developer. We need the project manager who is going to be the team lead, pushing things. If we have a business person, that is also very key. The body teams, these ones we do when we are doing more of the practical session. So I'm going to skip some of these because it will take some time. Of course, we map team A to team B to help us understand the dynamics of the different teams. So in terms of innovation process, like I mentioned earlier on, you have the user needs and technological possibilities. It's very okay to interrupt me in case we see that we have to, if we see that we have to, if there's something you want to understand, please feel free to interrupt. It will make no sense if we leave this place without understanding. Now, the user needs and the technological possibilities from those, you come up with an idea. When you think of an idea, then you begin thinking about the business case. So from user needs and technological needs, we come up with an idea and think of the business sense of it. How can you make money out of what you're doing? Now, that is what we call innovation. So what I'm going to do is now to take you through the process of innovation. I pray that we take notes so that we're able to make the best use of the time and also win. Some of us may have already come up with ideas that we're thinking about. You can go back and revisit this and see if it makes sense using the process that I'm going to be taking you guys through. Where we have templates, please take the notes because we do not have the physical templates to share with you. but you can go through these and come up with the desired solution. You do not have to have a solution right now, but if you go through this process, then you can come up with ideas based on the 17 sustainable development goals that that Google is looking at for the solutions challenge. One is for us to understand the problem. Understanding the problem is one key thing. The second one is for you to understand the users and define them, define the users. The third one is for you to look at the technology that you're going to use that can suit what problem you've come up with, and then the users. I'll give an example. You think of, okay, building a mobile application that, if you talk about technology, coming up with a mobile application that maybe, supports rural farmers, villages. You're talking about a smartphone, and you're saying, okay, we are going to build this on Flutter. Which one is? I think let's say Kotlin, which is cross-cutting. You can do that on iOS, or even, you look at the Android phones. Now, you cannot be talking about a technology that is, and you're talking about a farmer out down there who does not even afford, who cannot even afford a smartphone. Even if they afford a smartphone, there is no network, in those places. So you need to think carefully around what technology you use, what is most convenient for you to actually achieve this. Then, when you're done with that, you go through what we call the ideation, and then you need to polish your pitching in order to help you pass the message that is going to help you win in the solutions challenge. Regan, we have 14 minutes to 3, in fact 13 minutes to 3:30. Do we still have, can we stay here longer?
I suggest we stay here and we continue.
Same platform, but let's also note that this is very important. We are not, you can go and, I think you can go and join them after they have started. But trust me, this is going to be very helpful in what we are going to be doing. So, when we're done with that,
Mr. Solomon,
we are good to go.
Mr. Solomon, when I got about
what
this,
is very key for, yes, please.
When I got about this message of the launching of the book at around 10 during the day, then I decided now not to cancel it. I said maybe members who will join, then they will be in need of this. Then I decided to record the video. I will share with them in the WhatsApp group for those who have missed, and they will be knowing what has taken place. So I believe we can continue, and they will review the video. Thank you.
Okay then. All right. So let's go to the first step. That is understanding the problem. One very key thing that we need to note, that it's understanding a problem is the most important. Albert, who says, if I had 1 hour to save the world, I would spend 55 minutes defining the problem and 5 minutes finding the solution. Now, if we look at this, let's get to, I'll tell you why. Let's get to the process. Now, the 4 tasks that we need to perform at this stage, first of all, is to read, and read. Discuss and see exactly what problem you want to solve. Analyze, and then, No, do research and then do the analysis. Understanding the problem requires you getting to the real details of things. I'm going to show you a little bit of an illustration. But the truth is, if you do not understand the problem you're solving, you are going to be dealing with the wrong solution. And that is what happened to us, and that's what's still happening with the very many, students who finish university, and their solutions end at the final year presentation. So, let's look at what you can have in terms of a challenge. Let's pick an example of insecurity. Look at the circles that we have there, where there is a challenge, put their insecurity, and break down insecurity into several parts. If you say, now for example, one example you can pick is from one of the SDGs. You look at something like hunger. Break down hunger into several parts. Where is the biggest need in terms of coming up with a problem? Where do we see the biggest need when it comes to hunger? I may not really get into the examples of hunger, but for me the easiest would be security. There are several aspects of security that we can look at. First of all, we may be looking at robbery as one of those that you'll put in the small boxes. We could look at theft. We could look at rape cases. All those count to insecurity. You can break them down to even thousands if you want, if they have several domains that you can think about. But the most important thing for us to understand, let's look at Mooney University. We say in Mooney University, there are so many rape cases. This is an example. I'm not saying that is what is there currently. But the facts that we can pick that you're going to put in the first box we see up there, where we're talking about key facts and data, what are the main facts, figures, statistics, data points, and background information of relevance? Maybe in the first place, we have, there are no security lights. Those are some of the things that can inform the insecurity that you have in that place. Maybe there are no police posts around. So the thieves and all that have a leeway to do whatever they want. Maybe there are so many drug addicts that these drug addicts cannot, they are idle, and all they can think about is, get to come and rape the girls, come and do, all sorts of things that they do. Now, when you gather that information, it can actually help you solve the problem that you're looking at. So, but the most important thing is for us to break this down. What is the most challenging? Do we have so many theft cases? Do we have so many rape cases that you want to come up and solve? Do we have name them? We have all understood this. Now, when we get to the insights, list below anything that you have researched or observed which may be useful to understanding the case study. What are some of the insights that you can have? Why do we, if we say the facts, from the facts that we have seen, that probably, let's look at number one. I think I've already mentioned some of them actually, where we're saying the facts are that we have so many girls being raped every day. 3 to 5 girls report cases of rape every week. Those are facts, data points. Insights will be coming from where you're looking at okay, why is it that we have the rape cases? We do not have security lights. We have the men who are in Muni University, most of them, you know, they are singles. They're singles who do not have wives, so they're always looking for those girls who they can, you know, devour. Now, if you look at all those, those are insights. You have the facts. Insights will be, what do you think leads to this? Now, those are some of the things which will actually come and help you, you know, come up with the solutions that you think, if we solve this problem, then we shall have, you know, tackled the bigger picture. That's to do with the challenge. I hope this template, now this template is very important. I hope we have understood this. If we get to, now we go to understanding the user. Let's pause the problem. Let's go and understand the user. I talked about understanding why certain things happen to us. Now, what is it that we want to, who are we solving this problem for? They're the ones who face the problem. They're the ones who face the challenges. So we are building something for them. You see these two boys squatting down there. They are trying to study. They are trying to study this guy. Why is this guy so much attached to his duck that he can even, you know, he has fish, all that, fish all over him, but when you see his cheek actually has a plaster. The guy has been wounded. He is fighting. Now, is it something that you can actually die for? The guy wants to save his duck. There is fish all over him, and probably, maybe the fish is the problem. But someone may also ask, but why don't you just come and, you know, why don't you just have a fish? That is also food. What is it about your duck? There is that attachment. You need to understand that person. How do they live their lives on a daily? You know, that is going to help you in the long run to look at things, tackling the things around making money. How do you make money out of you know, out of the solution that you're building? Someone is willing to pay if they see it as valuable, as you know, the problem you're trying to solve is really that painful problem. It's important for them to solve. I hope we're together. So you do the identify the user. You can break them down, analyze, and, you know, describe. Come and know who the user is, understand your problem. When we are done with that, you can now come and say, okay, you can also break down your user segment just in the same way I mentioned in terms of the problem. Now, the user, I'll give an example. You've said, we want to solve this problem for the women. So you come up and say, we need to break this down. We cannot solve a problem for women, for every woman in this country. Can we break them down? Which women face so many challenges that need to be helped? You could say, okay, let's break this down to pregnant women. And you say, okay, let's look at the problems of the pregnant women. Or now you relate that to the problem that you've broken down from what category of people face the kind of problem that we are thinking about. You know, relate the two, and then if you now have your main user segment, you've broken them down into several, and then you relate to the problem. When we're done with that, we are good to go. Let's look at an example of the problem that we have seen and how we can break them down. We have teenage obesity. Teenage obesity could be caused by lack of exercises. Teenage obesity could be caused by unhealthy foods. If it is lack of exercises, what could be the cause of that? Maybe people are unmotivated. Maybe they don't know how to work out. Maybe they find it boring to do without a body. If it is unhealthy foods, maybe people don't know how to eat healthy, no access to good food, they don't like healthy foods. The ladies, you don't like healthy foods. When someone tells you, let's go to, go and eat junk, you're jumping. You jump off immediately. Someone is taking you for ice cream. You can even stop revising for your exams, but you need to first get this done. Maybe they don't know how to cook good food. They're not like me. I'm a very good cook, just for your information. So I came back to see how many ladies we have in this call. I see only one. Oh, maybe those are the ones I'm seeing on my screen, but I see 10 people in the call. So when you have these unmotivated, people are not motivated, they don't know how to work out, they find it boring without a body, they don't know how to eat healthy and all those. These are challenges that you can actually tackle independently. If someone is unmotivated, that could actually be a problem that you want to solve in order to tackle teenage obesity. Are we together? So when we have this, then we know that, okay, we can now plot this and, come up with a solution. Don't ask me how. How we build, how do we then select the best? How do I know that this one actually makes sense? We are coming to that. Problem selection. You have the other problems that you've seen, and you want to solve. Which one is more frequent? Which one is most important? Let's go back. You've seen people don't know how to work out. Take it as an example. Do we see people not working out as one thing, as such a big problem that we need to solve? Is it as frequent? Now, in terms of frequency, you want to see how many people have you seen that actually say that they do not know how to work out? Is it important for you to solve that? Pick the likes of, now you're going to plot all these one at a time. This is just an example that I'm giving. You plot these, unmotivation, people not knowing how to work out, find it boring without a body, people don't know how to eat good food, healthy foods, access to good food, they don't like healthy foods and all that, and you will plot them on this problem selection tree. Let me call it problem selection tree. I don't know if it's called a tree, but those of us who went to good schools, we know what this is called. I didn't go to a good school. So, what has the highest frequency? When you look at where my cursor is, you have the frequency. Now the vertical, we're looking at frequency, and horizontally, we're looking at how important that is. I'll give you another example. We say there are so many mosquito bites in our locality where we stay. There are so many mosquito bites. Let's say now mosquito bites is one problem that we want to solve. Let's look at the frequency of these mosquito bites. If the frequency is so high, Let's look at how important it is. I'll give us two scenarios for this very malaria case, for the mosquito bites. If your user segment is a group of students, that importance may also change. So you need to relate that to the users. If there is so much, if you have so many mosquitoes in your place, and we are talking about students, let's take an example. A student goes to read their books, 2 hours, and in the reading room, there are so many mosquitoes. Every time you have to be fighting with mosquitoes, you're distracted. And we say, out of those, out of the 2 hours that you're going to read, you are spending 1 hour trying to do what? You're spending 1 hour trying to chase mosquitoes. The end result becomes what? You failing your exams. Then it's important. That is something important to what? To consider. Let's look at mosquito bites for the general public, not students. And we say, there are so many mosquitoes, the frequency is high. But something that you may want to look at is what else could be the cause? Someone may not be interested in the what? In the importance in line with passing exams. That is no longer important if you don't have your exams ahead of you. Now let's look at a case of malaria. Several mosquitoes, the frequency is high, but then people are not falling sick. Then it may not be as important for you to what? If it's for a group of people who are probably having, taking marijuana, maybe at a drinking place, they're more, taking alcohol, they can deal with the mosquitoes, and it's not a big deal. They're not falling sick. But if we say people are falling sick, every week people fall sick because of this malaria, then the importance is high. Someone is willing to pay for that. Are we together? So if people are willing to pay for that, then it's something that is important for you to. So in that case, high frequency, high importance. We are looking for what is falling in this quadrant, where my cursor is. That is where we want to see, that is where the winning problem is going to fall. One may fall around here. Whatever falls below this line, below it's on the negative side of the y-axis, it's just something that you can't consider. Not important, not frequent. Those are things you do not want. Like I mentioned, you're looking for something which is high. Now, this is for selecting the problem that you want to solve. Let's get to, now the description and all that, I'm not going into those because, we do not have a lot of time. Now we get into ideation. Like I mentioned, this would have been a longer thing. But another very good template that I want us to look at, that we may not be in position to, go through now, is, okay, if we are looking at the practical bit of it. Again, just like you did for the problem, it's the same thing we're going to do for the solution. You're now going to ideate. You have come up with a solution. You have come up with a problem that you want to solve, and now you want to come up with ideas. There is a scope: generate ideas, describe, and sort. They could be in different categories. The first thing that we need to look at, when we come up with a scope, the first question is, how can we help X specific user solve a specific problem? That's the question you have at the back of your mind. So if you have that at the back of your mind, you write down one very precise problem statement as written down there. Now, you need to be curious, ask questions. You're asking your teammates, how can we solve this problem? How can we help these users solve this problem X? You already have your problem. Remember, you have chosen the best one that has fallen on the other quadrant, something that is above, the highest around this part, high frequency, high importance. Now, while you generate, forget about limitations, but think about possibilities. Very many ideas that you can think about, and every team member is writing what they see. See opportunities and forget limitations. Generate as many ideas as possible, quantity over quality. Do not criticize your team member, but you have to co-create and build on each other's idea. The sorting may be in different topics. You have come up with several solutions that you think can work, and now you're saying, let's build that on what? Let's build on those. Can we categorize them and understand, you know, which one belongs to which category? Then we come to this. If we have been attentive, someone just to remind me, while we were selecting the problem, what did we look at in the vertical, and what did we look at in the horizontal axis? You can unmute and tell us. Anyone?
Oh, in the vertical we had high frequency, then in the horizontal we had low importance.
Who said that? Was it Regan or Laban?
No, that was Regan.
That was you, Laban.
Regan.
But you wanted to say something also. So I hope you were saying the same thing. So.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Regan, I do not want you to answer at this point. For you, it's obvious that you're attentive. Usually the leads are attentive. Let's get to now. Here we are looking at high level of uniqueness and high value. The uniqueness helps us to pick something which is, you know, out of the ordinary, something better than what exists already. And I can tell you, again, for the times I have been a judge in these competitions, one of the things is that when you say you do not have competition, or it's completely a new product that you're building, then you lose marks. Because you cannot, anything that you come up with, there's already a solution out there. But what we're looking for is how unique is that? Now, then we look at value. Uniqueness, I may not explain. But in terms of value, given an example, and what you're building, is it of value to these guys? You may be talking about building a solution, and we are talking about, you want to make briquettes. That's a very simple example. You want to make briquettes for the very rural, people, very poor rural guys in the village. They cannot afford to buy the briquettes in the first place, and they do not have a problem actually using firewood like they've always done. How will that be a valuable product to them? It may not be of any value to them. So how unique is that product? And in the same way, you do the plotting where the cursor is something above. High frequency, high value is what we are looking for. Are we together? So when we're done with that, we do the description. Problem, solution, user. You look at the user, cost, revenue, and what? Competition.
Yes,
this is more of idea description. The description will definitely help you understand. First of all, the problem,
yes,
the solution, you have the user, you understand the
I think we are
competition,
going to use
the
robot
costs,
that we used last
revenue. Now, this is also a very important. It's also a very
Who is that
important
speaking?
document
It's
that
like
you may
he
look
looked
at.
to be TBR,
Can
but
we
someone
define
who
the
could
problem?
be
Can we
different
come
maybe.
up
Are you
with a
the same
solution?
place? Oh,
The user, competition, all those. If we understand
we are
that,
going
then
to
we are
just
good to
get
go.
like a robot. Do you have it?
Like I mentioned, we would have had a lot of time actually going to brainstorm, getting into, the details of all these.
Because I called this
But because of
man,
limited time,
we can use that.
we are not able to have that. So I believe we have
I
used
called him. I asked, should I call the sound guy to come?
used an hour
to use last time?
to go through this.
Let's use
My expectation is that you go back now in our team and follow exactly the things that we have done. For the physical events that we have done, we will go through all these and brainstorm, get to understanding ABCD. Like I mentioned, this is a session that I had from I think around 9 a.m. when we came to Moody University, from around 9 a.m. and I think we ended around 5, 6. So the whole day we were going through this and then also going through the pitching. So going through the pitching is something we cannot do right now. But if I'm to run through that, some of the things that you mentioned, that like what is here, you have the problem. You can clearly define the solution. You're telling us. You've given us. You know the users. You understand the competition. How you're going to make money. That's more to do with the revenue model and all that. Then you're good to go. So the guidelines of things related to pitching, we can always come back and look at this. But I believe for now, some of us will have to get back to understanding. I mean, going to the release where the book is going to be released and all that. You can go and have that. But in case of any questions, we are free to ask. That's where my presentation ends for now. If you have any questions, please go ahead and ask.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Solomon. And what I'm trying to inquire about that at some point in time you see that there is something you would like to solve, and it may not necessarily be a problem, but it's just making people's life easier. And at some point, they can be able to, or they are willing to adopt it. Does that match the criteria of maybe the challenge or feeling like using that template which you've shared with us?
So Laban, as I mentioned, you cannot be coming up with something people are willing to pay for it, and yet it's not a what? It's not a problem. Maybe it takes us to understanding what a problem is. If they are willing to pay for it, you are solving a problem. Could you give an example? Maybe you think of an example. But if you come up with something, even if it's to have fun, people just having fun, there is what we are calling boredom. And people see that, but then it will take us back to why something does not sell. Probably you are not solving a painful problem. If it's not painful, you're going to have people who are willing to buy, but not so many are willing to what? To use that. So I believe when you go through the process that you have mentioned, it should be able to solve that, it should be able to answer that question. For you're saying it's not a problem, but for as long as you're solving something, that's a problem. That's a challenge that, you know, people face. Now, the question here is, how big is the problem? Is it a problem worth solving? Those are the questions you ask yourself. But it's a problem. If you come up with this, people are like, wow, this is something that, you know, we can take on. Trust me, it's solving a problem. I don't know if it makes sense.
Yes, it makes sense.
All right. Any other question?
The question I'm asking. Hello.
Yes, Kotrida.
Yes, you can hear.
Like for example, I've developed my solution, but putting in the technologies of Flutter, what, like I've done it, but haven't really reached to the customers to know the revenue streams. I don't know how. Yes.
Are you saying you've already built something?
Yes.
So now for the solutions challenge, are they using Google technologies?
Yeah, because I've been applying, they're telling us you must only use Google technologies. So, okay, even if I've not used that, like really, how do you come up with the revenue streams before really the users use your product?
So while you're coming up with this idea, like I told you, we may have had things to do with human-centered design. That means from the word go, I think around 2016, when we used to go to, we ran a program under Google for Entrepreneurs, supported by WeTech Global. And it was more of looking at increasing the number of women in technology. So we had a boot camp to take them through, you know. Then, now, while they were doing that, the other thing was now for them to now look at, you have now learned, can we now come up with solutions? One thing we used to go and do is to simply go and interact with farmers. We used to go and interact with farmers because we had said, okay, let's look at solving a problem in agriculture. Can we go and meet these farmers, understand how they live, even understanding, you know, their day-to-day life. How do they live their lives on a daily? You're able to understand that if I create this, if I build this, this person is willing to pay for that. Otherwise, we're going to end up building a solution that, you know, we think will work, and then we begin charging people exorbitant, you know, amount of money in order for them to use this. And for them, it's not solving their problem. It's not a problem worth solving, and they're not willing to pay for it. But while you interact with these users or your customers, you are going to tell, now even questions of, if we charged this amount of money, would you be willing to pay? All those questions can help you determine how much you can charge. And then from there, you can. Now, those are the channels that you use to reach out to your customers. So it should inform what you are able to charge. Some of these may not be asked during the solutions challenge, but we need to be thinking about these while we get out of the. I mean, we are not all going to be winners. The winner may not even come from. If at all the winner does not come from Uganda, I mean, you're not going to end there. You're going to continue working, building your product. You do not want to end there. But of course, my hope is we are going to have, now, since Muni University has already set the pace, then we're going to have what? more coming through. Follow the footsteps, and and you get there. Kotrida, does that make sense?
It does. Thank you.
All right, all right. Yeah, so anyone else? Otherwise, we're going to call it a day.
Hello.
Yes, Regan.
My question was in fact, you were like as if you are going to answer about it when you were answering Kotrida, but at the point you diverted from it. So my question was, you may find like you have a solution, but some of the technologies like that needs to implement it, maybe you are not well versed with them or you don't know them. So in this way, how do you go with that?
I think the best thing is for you to think about. You can get out there, even outside the four teams that the four team members. It's okay to go out and seek for guidance. Whoever is someone who can do it. The challenge we have right now is that we have very very minimal time to come and teach, things like say Flutter. We wanted to actually do inter university, what we are calling the Flutter series, which is going to start in Kampala, but that might come after the what? It might come after the solutions challenge has already been completed. But we're still going to consider that and have a community of people who are building on that. But we can also get online, learning code and all that and whatever we want to do may not be, if you already have a concept of software development, if you learn this technology, it's going to be easy for you to get through the other one easily. So I believe if you're having challenges and you think learning, say on YouTube or any other online, may not be the solution, then you can go ahead and ask someone out of the team that can support you in building something. But at the end of the day, like I told you again, this solutions challenge is not about you having to have, a finished product that is, but the first submission that you're going to have, it's going to be, if you have something simple that you can show, the first one is going to be about you speaking about what you're doing. So at the end of the day, then the Google team can now help you build. So we shouldn't worry much about much about the code that getting into all these, that you must have a working solution. No, I can assure you that in the university, the knowledge that you have may not be in position to act. You may not be in position to actually build this to the end. I mean, to finish. That could be for about 5% of students who can do that in whichever university, I can assure you. So do not